Hello and welcome to this fourth tutorial focused on log cleanup. So post-exploit is important to go through and clean up after yourself. A talented hacker will use techniques to go through and make sure that no one can backtrack and see what they did and keep themselves off the radar. This tool doesn't specifically focus on any tool, but more of a cleanup mindset to add to your framework. Here you can see we have data in log files out on a Windows XP box, and we want to get rid of those. Let's go over to my Kali box, and we're already logged in. We've already exploited the machine, and we're going to run a cleanup command to get rid of those logs. Meterpreter has a tool already built in called CleanEV that we can use against this box, and it will actually it'll get rid of the logs itself. So that makes it real easy within Windows. So let's go ahead and run this command. Before I do that, I'm going to exit out of the logs to make sure I don't get an error. Need to retype that. So clearev runs. It wipes out the records from the event viewer, and we'll open it back up here, and you can see that the previous logs have been deleted apart from the thin print, but those don't relate to what we've been working on. It leaves the success audit log. That just lets us know that it was successful. It doesn't really tell the investigator anything specifically. So now that we've done that, let's talk about what we do with Linux. So Linux has a log folder in var log that contains the different system logs that are recorded in Linux. Messages is an important one that records a lot of message information. I've already cleaned it out, so let's go ahead and look at the syslog, and that'll actually show a lot of logs that have happened on my system. So you can use your favorite text editing tool and go through. You can decide to pick out specific entries that are related to your exploit, or you can do an entire cleanup by deleting all the logs. Either way works. It's a little bit more it's harder to detect if you delete specific ones. Let's say that one and these few, and then just save, and that will cover your tracks as long as you didn't miss any specific entries. I'm just going to quit out of that. Alright, let's reopen this and let's talk a little bit about bash history. So bash will record the commands you type out and execute in your bash history, and this can be used by an investigator to detect what type of activity has happened on the machine. This is a list of the commands that I've run recently. We want to get rid of that, and we want to understand how this works so that we can prevent it in the future. So let's print out real quick the bash command. So we've got bash history, and also bash rc is important as that's the profile configuration for my user. So the first thing we want to look at is the hist size environment variable. If we set that to 0, then it's not going to record our history. Those sounds are me trying to go back by pressing the up arrow key to use a previous command. I can't do that because my hist size is now set to 0. It won't record, and it won't let me use any of my history. Let's go ahead and reopen it up and see what my history shows now. Alright, so how do I get rid of this? There is two ways you could do it. You could use RM, or you can do my approach, which is to use Shred, which does a little bit better job of cleaning it up where it won't be able to be detected by a forensic investigator as easily. It will cause it to zero out the bits for that file, so all of the file bits will be set at 0. So if I run this against bash history, it is, for all intents and purposes, gone. All right, and we can go back and see this, because when we do an ls command, the bash history file is not there. All right, so let's take a quick look at the .ba, so you can see it's missing now. Now, if I reload terminal, it'll come back, because my profile automatically creates the history file, but the commands that were inside of it won't be there anymore. They're gone. It'll only show up to the previous sessions commands. So this doesn't help the investigator see what had happened before I started looking into the bash history. All right, we'll quit out of that, and let's go ahead and try to let's look at what hist size is now set at. It is now set at 1,000 because I had refreshed the terminal and started a new session. If you want to change that, you can go to the profile, the bash rc file, and there is a parameter that gets executed each time to set the hist size and to set the hist file size for that session. If you change this information, then the profile will start out at whatever you set it as the default. Thank you very much. I hope this has been educational, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you.